Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I prepare for my long runs on a weekend with my brother and sister. I'm going to be giving you 5 tips in terms of preventing injury and ensuring that you have the best run possible. Just before I jump into tip number 1, if you could please give me a follow on Strava where you can see all of my runs. I've logged today's run on there as well, so you'll be able to check it out. And also give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So with that said, let's jump straight into the first tip. So tip number 1 is eat plenty. So on the day of your run, you need to get the calories in. So depending on what time of the day you plan on doing your run, so in my case, because we're going out later in the evening, I'll probably have about 4 meals between now and then, with a few snacks in between as well, mainly fruit. So a little banana or an apple, something like that. Nothing too heavy. But I'll try and get quite a lot of carbs in, so like some pasta, rice, bit of protein with some chicken. Also plenty of water as well, because there's nothing worse than going out on a long run, or any run for that matter, and being dehydrated. It's just the worst. Luckily for us, when we're out on our long runs, my dad drives around in the van, as you can see in the clip there, and he basically stops at certain points on the run for us to get a drink. Just run past, a bit like when you're in a race, you run past, grab the drink, have a quick drink and crack on. So on to tip number 2, which is to have a pair of suitable running shoes. And by that I mean have 2 pairs is what I recommend. So in my case, I use these for my long runs, which is the Adidas Supernova Glide 4s. You can see those there. The reason I picked them for the long runs is they have quite a lot of support on them, and they were relatively cheap as well, so they're within my budget. I'm sure I got them for like under £50, which is not too bad for a decent pair of running shoes. So basically anything over 5 or 6 mile will be ran in these. And then for the shorter runs, I have the Adidas Boston 8, which is a fantastic shoe, very lightweight, also great support for how light it is. They've also got the Continental rubber on the bottom as well, which is quite hard wearing. As you can see in this clip, Sam actually chooses to do his longer runs in these as well, because they are that good. They are a little bit more expensive, but definitely worth the investment if you are thinking about getting a pair. It's also great because when you do switch to the lighter shoe in the shorter sessions, you do feel a difference. Your feet don't feel as heavy. So on to tip number 3, which is more common sense than anything else, and that is to build up the miles slowly. So I recommend starting at about 3 miles for the average person. Everybody will be different though, so do take it with a pinch of salt. You'll find out what's best for you when you go out on your first run. And basically what you can do if you are committing to running 2 to 3 times a week and doing everything right, then really you should be able to increase by, I would say, a mile a week quite easily. Obviously don't increase every run by a mile. What you can do is, if you do 3 runs in the first week at 3 miles each, and then in the next week do 2 runs at 3 miles, and then do the third one at potentially 4 miles, and then same for the week after, up to 5 miles, and so on. And then eventually you will build up to like 10 miles plus. If you do try to go out on a run of 10 miles plus without any sort of training beforehand, you are more than likely going to cause yourself an injury. On to tip number 4, which is recovery. Now this is one of the more important ones, as it prepares you for the next run. After each run I would recommend at least 5 to 10 minutes of foam rolling and stretching, but the more the better if you have time to do it. The foam rolling helps to release any tension, so if you do roll over a tender spot, focus on that area and you should feel some relief shortly afterwards. When foam rolling, I do tend to spend quite a lot of time on my calves because it does prevent shin splints, which are quite common amongst most runners. And the mention of shin splints in tip number 4 brings me nicely on to the 5th and final tip, which is to invest in some calf sleeves or compression socks. Now you can get these from as little as £4.99, £5 from the likes of Amazon and eBay. I think I paid about £8 for these ones, but they do the job just fine. Due to running on my toes, unlike my fellow siblings who run with a heel strike, I do tend to get shin splints quite often when I'm putting in a lot of mileage. Now I'm not saying you have to wear them all the time, but for anything more than 6 mile I would recommend it. It is a very easy way to avoid those injuries that can be quite annoying in the long run, quite persistent as well. So I hope you guys found these 5 tips useful. If you have any other tips for people to try, please do drop them in the comment section down below. I will put these statistics from today's run on screen over here for you to check out. But that is it for today's video, so I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.